Hello and welcome back to another Marvel Rivals video, and in today's video I want to throw my hat into the ring and talk about probably the biggest talking point surrounding the game right now, which is should Marvel Rivals have role queue? Does Marvel Rivals need to have 2-2-2 or another configuration of role lock or role queue? So in this video I'm going to cover the arguments for each side of the argument, my personal take on role queue, and I'll make a suggestion on how to maybe fix the problem and maybe make everybody a little bit happy. But before we get into it, if you're enjoying the video and you want to see more Marvel Rivals gameplay and guides, don't forget to click that like and subscribe to the channel for more. So let's start off with the side that believes yes, Marvel Rivals does need to have a role queue. The main argument for this one is pretty simple. When you're not playing with a full stack or if you're trying to rank up while solo queued, you lose at the character select screen a lot of the times. I mean, come on, we've all had those matches. You join in, everyone insta-locks their favorite DPS character, and everyone refuses the switches. So you get rolled because your team comp was bad and the enemy team's, wasn't, and they got a pretty free win. Or maybe you are a tank player or a healer player, but you end up as the only one on your team playing your role. And despite how hard you try to carry or how hard you play your solo role to perfection, you still lose because the enemy team just had one more tank or one more healer that could help unburden their load. Then of course, if this happens, you can flex. Maybe you're not a good tank or healer, but you flex because you want to have that better comp and increase your chances of winning. But you're not really a good healer or tank because you really don't play it that much. Then you do bad, get flamed by your team, and then think to yourself, yeah, I actually flex and I get shit on, I'm not doing that again. Then we have this problem where this happens to a ton of people and we are just stuck full of lobbies where everyone is stubborn, nobody wants to switch off of their main, nobody wants to try to make a team comp, and you just end up with a lot more DPS and you end up just getting rolled. So for these reasons, a lot of people want to see role queue in Marvel Rivals. This will help solo queue players a bit because at the bare minimum, their comp will have a balance of roles, and this will eliminate a lot of those matches where you lose because you have no tanks or healers or both. This can alleviate a lot of people's complaints in the process, but what will we be losing? Why should we stick with having no role queue? The main argument for not changing the game, for not adding role queue, is creativity and flexibility. With no role queue, you have complete freedom to decide your comps and your strategies. One team could run 3 tanks, 1 DPS, and 2 supports and make it work. One team can use 1 tank, 3 PS, and 2 supports and make it work. And then another team could even run no tank, 4 DPS, 2 supports, and somehow it might work. You also have the option of trading roles mid-match or changing your role balance mid-match, which are both incredibly useful. If my buddy is trying out DPS but is sucking, they can easily switch back to tank while I switch back to DPS. And just like that, on the fly, that one change could turn around a losing match. Or maybe we're just getting rolled by having 1 tank, so maybe one of our DPS could change roles, support their tank, and maybe change back if the enemy team switches up their comp. So for those reasons, a lot of people don't want to see role queue added in. So where do I stand? I actually am more in favor of not having a role queue. I solo queue or play with a stack of only 3 people. I understand the feelings that come with losing because no one wants to flex and everyone is being stubborn. Like, I get it. But I don't think those losses are worth losing all the creativity we'd be losing if role queue was the thing. Being able to swap roles mid-match is not only useful, but fun. But also being able to run 3 or more of one role adds in so many cool strategies. We'd be losing so much if we stopped those 3 tank dives or 3 DPS dives, or just rolling with 3 supports to make your team immortal. Having a role queue, having a 2-2-2 would limit so many possibilities and interactions that characters have between their kits. And I just don't think that role queue is worth losing all that. But the thing is, no matter what NetEase decides to do, a group of people are going to be unhappy. If role queue is a thing, then all that creativity and flexibility is gone, and those players that really utilize it will be upset. If they don't add in role queue, then that part of the community and all the solo queuers will be upset because they'll continue getting into those games where everyone insta-locks DPS and yada yada yada. But I've thought of this, but I've also seen it a lot across Marvel Rivals content creators, is a compromise. Like, why can't we just find a middle ground and try to make both sides a little happy? So I propose introduce a role limit and minimum. What I mean is have a minimum of 1 of each role. So each team has to have 1 DPS, 1 support, and 1 tank. This ensures that you don't have those matches where you lose solely because you didn't have someone to soak up damage or heal your team. You're guaranteed to have at least 1 punching bag and 1 heal bot, alright? Then introduce a maximum of 3 for each role, so you can still have that flexibility to have 2 or more of one role if your team needs it or is trying to run a particular strategy. Also, keep it out of quick play. Leave quick play alone for people to just run their crazy insane comps and just mess around and have fun. That should be just like the playground where people go, let everything out, I'm going to play Wolverine and Iron Man and have fun. Now, this isn't going to make either side completely happy, but I think it's a good middle ground. Solo queue players get to have at least 1 of each role, so if that one player is good, they have the potential to carry, and the people against role queue still get to have their creativity and flexibility. Both sides get a little bit of what they want. And that's going to be it for this video. I want to hear from you all. Are you for roll queue? Are you against roll queue? And what do you think about having a compromise, like a roll limit and maximum? I think, the idea's been going through the community, and I think it's actually a good idea if the backlash is big enough for it, but I think the devs have already said they're not considering roll queue, so we'll see how that develops. But what do you think about that middle ground? I don't know, so let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more Marvel Rivals discussions, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel for Marvel Rivals content. Also, don't forget to check the links in the description below for a link to my Discord server where I'm trying to get a community events going and VOD reviews and stuff like that. So if any of that interests you, check it out. I'm Zululiix, and I'll see you in the next video.